Okay, so let's go ahead and get started here. And again, we're talking with Dr. Jeff. And Jeff's done something that very few chiropractors have ever done, and that is sign up more patients for new patients than were actually at his presentation. As a matter of fact, he's done it more than once. You've done it. Matter of fact, your very first presentation, didn't you sign up more patients than were actually in the audience?
My first presentation after you taught me how to do it.
Right.
I had been doing presentations for 15 years, but they sucked. And I would get 10, 15, 20% of the room would sign up. And then you taught me how to close a room, and I went to 100% or better.
Yeah, and if I remember, do you remember your stats on your very first presentation? You signed up like 3 or 4 more than were actually there.
Yeah, exactly. We had like 18 guests and signed up 20, 21 people,
Right,
something like that.
right.
Yeah.
So that's what we're really doing this interview for, is to show people that it can be done. You not only can sign up a lot of potential patients, but you can actually sign up more than that's actually there. So let's just topically go over it. So you give a presentation, and we taught you how to do what's called an educational sales presentation, right?
Yeah.
And prior to that, you've been in practice for how long?
About 15 years.
So in 15 years, did you have any kind of success doing presentations, getting new patients?
I felt it was worth doing, but it never was great. Like I said, 20% would sign up for something, but that's about it.
Okay, and then
A lot of times, I would do them with a complete goose egg. Not a single person would sign up, but I would keep doing them.
Right.
It was stupid. But
and then since you learned how to do it, you've given several now, and now you've actually gotten 100% and over 100% to sign up. Is that right?
almost every time, like it is rare we get less than 100%. Less than 80% is unheard of.
Right.
Like it doesn't. It's never happened once. Less than 80%.
And let's go into the details of it, because this is exactly how we, when I opened 77 offices in 20 states, this is exactly how we got all those practices started. We would just do dinner presentations and to cold call patients, and we'd sign up 70% of them as new patients. So let's walk through. Let's tell you what. Let's go into the detail and walk through each of the categories to see how this panned out. So, in this particular case, how many did you get to sign? How many were in the audience, and how many did you get to sign up?
This most recent one, we had 24 people in the audience.
Potential patients.
Right. No, 24 total.
Okay.
3 of them were patients.
So,
and the rest were guests.
Okay, so that's 21. So
Yeah,
you had 21 potential patients, is that right?
Yeah,
Okay, and how many signed up out of 21?
all of them.
All of them. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, let's go through how that actually happened. First, let's start with the type of patient. Now, you said there were some patients there. In other words, we kind of teach to not just go for cold call patients, but actually involve our existing patients and involve the 20% of our existing patients that actually refer the majority of patients. Were you able to do that?
Yes. I've never found much success with getting cold call people in the room. That's always been a really big challenge for us. So I kind of just gave up on it, a few years ago. In fact, this is a really unusual event for me. I don't know if it had to do with COVID or what it was, but we had a huge number of cold calls in the room. We pre-qualified them all, so we knew that they had a need. That's incredibly important.
So where did you start? Where did you start looking for the patients? From your existing patients?
No, we had actually had another event. So twice a year, I do a home show, like a trade show event.
Okay.
And I had never done this before, but we had a sign-up sheet, and we talked to people at that home show, total cold calls about this event. We're going to do a dinner, and we would find out if they had a need.
So that's how you got the names.
Yes.
Okay,
so
now,
we got those cold calls from that event. Yeah.
Now, just so the audience knows that we do not do cold called fairs and festivals and anything like that. We don't do anything like that. Dr. Jeff just did it because he does it. He's been doing it for 10 years or something like that, and it's once a year. So that is nothing about how to do marketing. So anyway, you get your list, and then you not only get your list, so they're cold calls. They don't know you. You don't know them. And when you got the list, you did a little checklist to see if they were having any chiropractic related problems.
Sure. Yeah, that's who got invited.
Right. Okay. Can you share what the checklist was, just roughly?
Just, yeah, back pain, neck pain, headaches.
Real simple stuff. Okay.
Doesn't have to be more complicated than that.
Okay. Very good. Which that immediately shows there's a need and helps increase your probability immediately.
Yeah.
And by the way, just so you know, when we did our dinner workshops to start offices and we got cold call patients, it was the exact same thing. We had them fill out their name, address, or their name and phone number. And then we had them check 6 boxes if they were having any of these problems, back pain, neck pain, old injuries, and all that. If they were not having any of those problems, they weren't invited.
Right.
So we had a problem to some degree, but we had no trust. They didn't know us. So okay, so already you've already increased the likelihood of getting business. Okay, so you how did you get them? So was it a dinner workshop that you did?
Yeah.
And just at a local restaurant?
Yep.
Did you have its own little private room?
Yes.
Okay. And then, how did you get them there? Did you call them?
How did I get the people to show up?
Yeah. Did you call them?
Yeah, of course. We have a whole system for all of that, but yeah,
Okay.
that's part of the system to get them there.
Did you email them too?
Yes, actually we did.
You
We had
emailed
several
them, you
emails
called
that went
them,
out.
and then multiple follow-ups?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 days before, we had a phone call to everybody that was going to come.
Did you do any qualifying on the phone?
We had already qualified them by then, so I don't think so.
Okay. And
I don't
then,
think so.
so you planned this out, what, maybe 2 weeks in advance?
Yeah.
About 2 weeks? Okay. And
Yeah,
then,
about over the past 2 weeks.
okay. And what night did you do it on?
I did mine on we actually did it on a Tuesday night.
Okay, good. That's people aren't as busy on a Tuesday night. The good thing about Tuesday is you get time to process them.
Yeah. Get them in
Educate
that
them and
week.
process them before the weekend.
Yeah.
So,
And the
okay.
restaurant likes it a lot better too, because they have available space in their restaurant.
Yeah. Okay, so how many did you target to get at the restaurant?
We capped it at 20, so we create some fear of missing out by telling everybody that we can only fit 20 people in the room.
Okay.
We know we can actually fit 30, so we actually booked 30 for this event and lost about 6,
Okay.
even though they had confirmed that they were coming. So we always overbook the room because we know people are going to drop out.
Okay, and did you charge anything at all to get them to the room?
No.
Okay. And what was the motive for them to come to the dinner besides the free dinner?
We have part of our sales title, I guess the title for the workshop is how to get better faster, stay better longer, and spend less money on healthcare. And so we talk, well, you're coming in, we're going to teach you how to get better quicker. You're going to spend less money. You're going to stay better for a longer period of time. We need to teach you all of that and how to get that done. So
okay, good. So you had a pleasure pain motivator.
Yes.
Okay, good. And then you call them, you schedule them, et cetera, and you follow up, I'm sure, the night before, the day before, et cetera, and maybe that day.
Yeah, we call and ask them, we want to verify, make sure you don't have any allergies. This is the menu. We always have a fish, a meat, like a beef, and then a vegetarian or a chicken, something like that. And so we're just calling them up and saying, is that menu going to work for you? Do you have any weird needs? We don't let them determine their own menu.
Right.
But like, is that going to be okay with you? And are you really going to come? And are you bringing another guest, by the way? Is your spouse having a problem?
Right.
Would you like to, we have some availability left. Do you have anybody you're going to be bringing with you? So that's all part of that verification call the day before.
Did you have several of them bring their spouse?
Yes, almost all did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's how the room got filled the rest of the way, was the spouses.
Okay. So you get there, that's how you get them there. We understand how you get them there. Now, you said there were 3 patients. Did you have 3 of your patients come there on purpose?
Yes.
And you did that
So
on
that's
purpose, didn't you?
Yeah, and that's how we almost always have done this. Like you just said, the cold call event that we do, that's terrible marketing. And so that's not how we do it. When we do a normal in-office workshop, we use our own patients to fill that room.
Right.
And so we did have a few of those people also. There's a whole system for getting them to bring their spouses or family members or coworkers to that event.
Tell who's listening why you had two or three of your patients, why you wanted two or three of your patients there.
Well, it's social proof. You can use them as instant testimonials in the room. They know that our own patients are doing this. Essentially it's social proof.
Right.
That you've done this before.
And were you able to do that? Were you able to get your patients to stand up and basically do a testimonial? And...
No, I didn't really do that. I lose control of it too much when I do that. Mm-hmm. So I don't even make that a part of it anymore.
Is that right? So you didn't have your patients say anything positive?
No, I don't want them saying anything. I will talk about it a little bit. I'll say, some of the results and things like that, but they screw up my presentation. I don't let them talk.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why you got to lead them really, really good. But I'm surprised that you brought them there and then you didn't use them.
They're not there for that entirely. They're there to bring their friends and family members.
Okay, so you did it for both reasons.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, yeah, because we always want, in a room of cold calls, we always want one of our or more of our patients to stand up and say, "Hey, we're good guys, and this works, and you can trust them," kind of thing. Okay, so let's go through the outline itself. So you show up at the restaurant, and you had everything set up. I'm sure you had a whiteboard like you have right behind you or something like that.
Yep.
Do you have handouts?
Yeah, we had them when they walked in the door. They had to fill out yet another needs assessment, essentially. The back pain, neck pain, headaches, and whatever it was, a little bit more detail. They filled that out when they walked in the door.
So you had to find more, they had to fill out more about their problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, a little more of the admit phase, just
okay.
making sure they had to explain why they were there, essentially.
All right. Did you have them do any ADLs on that sheet?
I don't think so. That's a good question. That would have been smart. But no, I don't think that's on there.
Okay. And then, so you do the presentation, and give us an overview of the presentation.
Okay. I mean, there's so much to talk about, but I'll make it really brief. You're just going to go into the triangle of health: chemical, physical, emotional.
So it's the things you did the things we teach.
Yeah.
Okay.
You divide that down.
Okay.
What's the best?
Okay, so basically, and let's do two things. We'll just talk about the content, but let's also go into how you engage them. So we talk about the triangle of health. We bring that over to how that leads to the different problems, and then from there you go to the 3 phases of healing and do a comparison contrast between medicine and chiropractic. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay, so exactly what we teach. Now, let's leave the content alone for a second, and let's go into what were some of the techniques you used to personalize it to them to get them into the admit, consequences, and personalization phase. Because remember, the whole key to this thing is to get established need with each of those people and then minimize time and money. That's the whole key to get those people to come in. So what did you do to help establish need besides the initial sheet they filled out during the presentation?
Well, there's some pretty easy stuff that I do. To the whole group, yeah. I'll do, and I keep it fairly funny and light, but I'll have them raise their hand. Raise your hand if you've been in a car crash. Raise your hand if you've been in more than one, more than two, and then I have everybody look around the room. And it's just kind of a light-hearted, funny thing. I said, okay, stay away from those people when you leave.
Yeah.
And everybody laughs. Said, okay, so these people have been in multiple car crashes, and so let's talk about how that happened and what the treatments they did. And so I'll engage different people in the room. Like, well, what did you do? You went to the medical office. You never went to a chiropractor.
Okay. Did you go into any other gateways besides car accident?
Yeah, I do. I do because I talk about any kind of injury. We talk specifically car crash because that's funny with the little joke I do. And I do it every time, and it's funny every time. But I also say, well, any other injury as well. You know, if you've been in car crash or sports injuries or anything like that.
Okay, so you'll cover some of the gateways.
Yeah, I broadened it a bit.
Okay, so you get them to raise their hand periodically?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
As often as possible. Yeah, I'm engaging specific audience members. I'm getting them to raise their hands.
Okay.
Making sure they're actively engaged in this conversation. It's not just me lecturing for 40
And then,
minutes or something.
so that's helping to establish needs. So you had them write it down. So they've written it down. You didn't do the ADLs, which would have definitely benefited. Through the presentation, you're going into the admit phase. Now, during the presentation, are you getting them to go into ADLs at all?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't talk to specific people about it, but I absolutely get into that multiple times. I'll go in, you know, it's getting so bad now that you can't play with your kids and you can't do this. So I'm a little generalized there, but absolutely.
And when you do that, are you engaging them also to see how they're having these kinds of problems or not?
Yeah, as often as I think about it, you know, it's all, you know, I speak without notes or without anything, so I'm just talking to people.
Yeah.
And when it comes, I just do it. But yeah, it's all kind of natural.
Okay,
I don't have anything scripted.
Yeah, well, that doesn't help the audience that's listening right now. So, you've established need. You got the admit phase. You went into consequences with their ADLs and problems. You personalized it by them having fill it out themselves, have them raise their hand, have them acknowledge, and you had them do them multiple times. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you bring anybody up front and do a test on them?
No.
Oh, that always works real well.
Yeah, I hate it. I don't do that.
Is that right?
I hate it.
Why?
No, I don't bring it up. It takes up so much time, and the patients get off track, and I've got too much to cover in too short of a time frame.
Okay.
And I'm still closing like 100%. So
Yeah, okay. So you get through the admit, consequences, personalization multiple times. You get them sensory and motor to participate throughout. Anything else you want to add with establishing need? Anything else you did to help establishing need to get them to see, yes, they had a problem?
Not really. I'll ask them like sometimes like what they've tried. Like they've gone to this, they've gone to all these providers and they've gone to all these things and they're just not any better.
Right. So you went into all the failures.
Yep.
Okay. Now, you went through the 3 phases of healing and you did a comparison contrast with chiropractic and medicine, right?
Yep.
How well did that go over?
Well, great. Because you really build up medicine, what they're good at, and you build up physical therapy and what they're good at, and massage therapy. And so you're always telling me what they're really good at, and they say, well, but the drawback is this. You know, they're great at this, but the drawback is this. And so you're able to show where chiropractic fits in and what you do.
And in your experience, have those patients ever heard that before?
No, and it's really funny because when you're opening it up and you're talking about the inflammation phase, and you say, you know, right after the crash, what are you going to get? And I call it the trifecta: pain reliever, muscle relaxant, and an anti-inflammatory. And I'll say, do you guys really think that's a good idea? And you get half the audience saying, no, that's a bad idea. And I go, no, it's awesome. Of course you want to do that. That's exactly what you should do. You're in the inflammation phase. That's fantastic.
Right.
And I'll use my son's example of his broken arm. I'm like, you think I told the doctors because he had a broken arm I didn't want anti-inflammatory pain drugs?
Right.
Like, of
course, you know that because you've been taught how that creates credibility, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't destroy that relationship with their medical doctor.
How did it go when you went through the 4 negative aspects of how the body heals? Were they aware of that at all? That this is what happens if it's not treated with physical medicine?
Oh, I doubt anybody's aware of that. No.
Yeah. And did you get them to see that is what causes permanent problems when that is not treated? And were you able to personalize it to each of them while some of them still had pain or stiffness after old injuries?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Did that go over pretty good?
Yeah, it goes great. It's completely clear to them. By the end, it's like, oh yeah, how come nobody ever told me this before?
Right.
It's absolutely clear. There's no credibility is amazing at that point because you've just explained everything to them, why they've hurt for the last 5 or 10 years.
Yeah. So you totally nail the gateway and the need. So now all we got to do, now they're looking for solutions. Have you noticed they start asking you for solutions now? What can you do?
Yeah.
Or how can I do it? Or what can I do? Have you noticed that?
Yep.
And as soon as that happens, of course, we know that we've accomplished the first objective, which was to establish need.
Yep.
So the only thing that you have to do to get them as patients now is minimize money and time, right?
Right. You've already built up trust. They're there in the room. There's just so much, especially the way I do it when a patient invites them, because it's their friend or family member, the trust is through the roof.
Right.
So that's handled. The need is handled.
Right.
Now you just got to overcome time and money.
So how do you overcome money?
I do a new patient special, I present it the way that you teach in the marketing workshop. But we have this 8-part new patient special. What you're going to get is you go through the bullet list.
So you go into detail in each of those 8 categories.
Yes.
So you really make it sound good then, don't you?
Yeah, because I'm in front of the room. I own that room. I've got the time. They're looking for a solution.
Right.
And I go through each one of those 8 categories as to what they're going to get. And I do it 4-day.
Right.
So the offer is huge. It's through the roof offer because $47 for 4 days of all this work that you're going to do.
Let's talk about that for just a second. So you detailed the offer so they can see how that'll help solve the problem. But
Yep.
now let's talk about 2 topics. One is the price, and then 4 days. So why $47?
Because it's a psychographic barrier. It's below 50. And I found going around $19. Well, in this event, you have high trust. You could go that low. Not that big of a deal. But you get a lot of looky-loos. People that aren't, I just don't like people at $19.
And what about more?
What's that?
What about more? How come you didn't charge more?
I could go more. I could probably do 97. What I found, it actually closed better at 47 than I do 97. I get a little bit of a drop off between 47 and 97. It's really easy to spend $50, especially when I've got all this value I'm giving them. Mm-hmm. They just have to think a little more about $97.
Now, what do you have to say to the chiropractor that says, there's no way I'm giving my service away for 4 visits for $47?
I'd rather have, that's just stupid. You get 4 visits to go into deep dive into what's their need, what their ADL problems are, and you get all this time to actually close them on care, what you're going to actually do for them. I would give that away every day of the week.
In other words, because of the $47, it was easy for you to bring them through 4 days, which gave you enough time essentially to do an educational sales presentation. How much more difficult would that have been if you would have only offered 1 visit?
Oh, it'd be stupid. Yeah, that's a waste, total waste.
You wouldn't be able to educate, you wouldn't be able to create the value, would you?
No, not even 2 visits. 2
Right.
visits is not enough.
Right.
Because you can't cover everything you need to cover on your day 2 and try to smash day 2, 3, and 4 into it. It just doesn't work.
And we learned the sales cycle was a 4-step process, right?
Yeah, it's too much information to try to slam it in day 2.
And the reason we did 4 days was the sales cycle is a 4-step process. We teach that, right?
Yeah,
And that works really well, doesn't it?
yeah.
Now,
And then,
the big reason though, the big reason you can offer $47 for 4 visits is what? What's your case average?
oh, I have a pretty high one. For a general chiropractic patient, taking out all the PI stuff,
Right.
We average about 3,500.
And what's your prepay percent?
About 80%.
See, that's what the audience doesn't know. So here you are, easily willing to give $47 for 4 visits to totally educate the person so they're willing to spend $3,500.
Right.
And you get 80% of them to do it.
Yeah.
That's
My assumption's 60%.
yeah.
But I
And
close about
that's-
80.
And that's the reason it's a combination, but the big reason is you close a high percentage of these people for a high case value, so it doesn't matter if you gave it away free, right?
Right.
That's
I do
right.
it for free all day long. Yeah.
And of course, chiropractors that didn't know how to do prepays or have good case averages, they couldn't offer $47, could they?
Yeah,
Because they'd lose the patient anyway.
right, because they don't have the patient retention.
As a matter
They
of
don't have
fact,
that.
wasn't that your case prior to joining me?
Yep.
If I remember, you were only closing 2 out of 10 people.
That is my number. Yep.
2 out of 10. Yeah.
And it was stupidly high numbers. I $8,500 treatment plans,
Yeah.
2 out of 10. Yeah, you can go broke on that real quick.
And then you started with me, and I think you were seeing around 40 visits a week,
Yeah, it's 40 or 50.
and you got up to what, 200?
I think before COVID, we were about 150, 160.
Okay. Then you
Fluctuated
bring
a lot.
on the associate doctor, and you get him up to how many visits and what kind of time frame?
He's hitting about 70 a week now,
Okay.
60 to 70
Well,
a week.
prior to COVID.
Yeah, well, he was new.
Okay,
I mean,
so
he
you kind of
just-
got
he had just started.
you got caught in COVID then with that.
Oh, yeah. He had a brand new
Okay.
doctor right before COVID. Started like a month before.
And of course, did you do any dinner presentations with him to help immediately get him up and going?
Yeah, that's how we were able to do like 2 or 3 right before COVID hit. And that's how we started boosting his numbers really fast.
Right.
And now we're able to do them again. And it's been going.
So he should shoot back up again then.
Yeah. Our numbers are just jumping really rapidly right
Okay.
now. This last 2 weeks have been insane.
So we covered a lot of key points, which is the target market, who you pay attention to, the gateways, the actual presentation. By the way, did you say anything about subluxations in that presentation?
No.
Why not?
No. They don't have needs. They have no need to have their subluxations dealt with.
Do they even know what they are?
No.
No. Yeah.
Market doesn't want that.
So when you talked about their problem, how it's affecting them in their life, and then you talked about the science of the 3 phases of healing, of how they do and do not heal, depending on what type of care they get, whether it's chiropractic, physical therapy, or medicine, in each of the 3 phases, how well did they accept and understand that?
Immediately. It was easy.
Was it not pretty much a slam dunk by the time you finished explaining the 3 phases of healing and the difference between chiropractic and medicine relative to their problem?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
that's pretty much what I found every time we did it. I always say, and you've probably heard me say this, I can't give a talk without getting new patients. Because that's the talk I always give.
If they're in the room, it's done. If they showed up, it's done.
Right. If they if they have a problem.
Yeah, exactly. When they're not going to be in that room if they don't have a problem.
Right.
That's it. That's really important about the way that I do my workshops when I'm talking to my patients, because I don't want my patients showing up for a patient appreciation dinner. I'm not appreciating you.
Right.
This is a marketing dinner.
Right.
And so you actually ask your patients to help you help more people.
Right.
I want to help as many people as I possibly can. This dinner is to help me help more people, and you get free dinner out of the deal.
So that was how many new patients was that? 21?
21.
21, and you got a case average of a little over $3,000, right?
Yep. You can say 3,000, make it easy.
So let's say 3,000. So you got 21 people. Let's do a little fun math here. 21 times 3,000.
Yeah, times 80%.
That's $63,000 you made because you knew how to do a presentation.
Yeah, I multiply that by 80%, my close rate, so it'll be about 50,000. But yeah, 50,000.
$50,000. $50,000. And how much did that dinner presentation cost you?
We go to a pretty nice restaurant, so it was $700 for the dinner.
That's unusual that you said that you went to a nice restaurant. Why did you do that?
I like it because it creates more of a buzz. You get the restaurants that I choose are actually restaurants that are sought after, restaurants that everybody wants to go to, but they're not the crazy high end.
Is it a brand? Is it a brand that I would know?
I'm sorry, say again.
Is it a brand I would know?
No, it's a local brand.
Okay.
It's also a small business, and so I like the guy. I actually know him personally that owns the place.
Okay.
He's got a great establishment, great employees, and I like supporting his business because it's a local small business. And people like that place. It's a hip place. It's new.
Right.
It's fancy. Everybody wants to go there, and we can get it on a Tuesday night. And I'm happy. And again, it's like the $47 new patient special. $700 to get 50 grand.
Right.
I think I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of doctors don't understand. But isn't that the power of knowledge and skill?
Yeah, huge.
Is that unbelievable or what?
Yeah.
Okay, would you like to add anything else unique or special you did?
Well, people are probably wondering, like, I keep saying I'll close over 100% of the room. They're like, well, wait a minute, how in the world do you do that? So it's starting to sound a little bit unbelievable, but it's really just FOMO, fear of missing out. So at the end, I do my whole presentation, and we didn't talk about bonuses and guarantees, but I do all of that. So you have 14 steps to the sales, 14, what do you call that? 14
The emotional triggers.
the emotional triggers.
Yeah.
So I'm like hitting all of them. I'm nailing every one of them. So I do them all.
Right.
I'm like, I'm on everything. So I get to the end and we've got the bonuses and we've got the guarantee, 100% money back guarantee. You get, I don't care, you do all 4 visits and you don't want to come back, I'd happily give you your $47 back. I just say, look, it's not about the money at all. You know, it's really about getting you in here and getting you the help that you need. And by the way, I know you've been thinking about a family member or a friend who really should be in this room right now, and they should be doing this. So what I want to do, tonight only, if you want to sign your friend or family member up, you have to pay the $47. And by the way, I make everybody pay that night.
Right.
For their own visit, it's all prepaid.
Right.
So we're not going to take money later. It's at the event. You have to have your credit card swiper, your computer, your schedule, all that stuff's got to be there at the event. So you'll take their money that night. And I say, if you want that friend or family member, they can get the same deal, $47. But when you walk out the door, that offer's gone. You're not going to get it again.
Right.
So it's only. And so we will oftentimes get 1, 2, 3 more people to sign up a friend and family.
Right. Yeah, which makes total sense. Okay, so that's how you not only get all the people in the room, but several. How do they typically pay? Do they typically pay credit card?
Almost always. It's very rare we get anything but
And
credit
what are
card.
you using to take their credit card payment?
We bring our office software is all cloud-based. I use Genesis, and we tried the card swiper. It's not working. So we type in their card number.
Oh, so
into
you're
the
actually going online to your office software.
Yep. We just bring it to the event.
Okay.
Because we can schedule them right then. We can enter their name, birthday, all that stuff into the computer right then. So I'll finish my talk, and I'll say, okay, come up here and talk to Amy. She'll get you and your family members scheduled, and you'll pay tonight. And I bring that up. You have to pay tonight.
Right.
So then there's a huge line. And while there's that huge line, the food's starting to arrive.
Right.
And she processes everybody, gets everybody scheduled.
Exactly. Okay. And where'd you learn how to do all that fantastic stuff?
20 years of beating my head against a wall, and then 5 years of you teaching me how to do it. So it's a lot of trial and error.
And did we not go into great detail what to do step by step, how to make this whole thing happen?
Yeah, and there's so much more detail I could give you, but yeah exactly. I could teach 3 or 4 hours on how to do it.
No, I appreciate you showing it. It's great for other people to hear chiropractors. You know, when I say it, they just think, well, I can do anything. But it's great when they see a colleague, you know, go, yeah, you know, I did exactly what he taught, and it worked fantastic. But that is exactly why, by the way, that is exactly how we opened 77 offices from the get-go and shot right up to 100 patient visits in 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah. I'm going to need a second building here this year, and I got to get an associate. I got one. I'm going to need 1 or 2 more.
Yeah.
It's growing crazy right now.
Let me see if anybody has any questions. So if anybody has any questions, I'm going to hit the unmute. If you just hit your red button. If you have a question for Jeff, hit your red button.
I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
When you were at the restaurant, do you have them serve the food before you start talking?
No.
When does that happen?
So that's kind of part of the logistics. You show up, you talk to the server. I want salads, and if I'm going to do appetizers, which I usually don't, but salads I need on the table when I start. So that gives them something to munch on at the beginning, and drinks. So salad and drinks I want on the table before I start talking, and I tell my server, don't walk in this room again until I'm done. I do not want you interfering. I don't want you interrupting. I'm crazy ADD, or what is it, OCD, about my talk. I don't like people messing with me during my talk.
We know if you serve food, what would happen to their attention?
Yeah, it's all over the place.
Gone. You can never serve food, and you have to serve the food after, not before.
Exactly. And I don't buy alcohol. I don't say absolutely none. I'll buy soft drinks, iced tea, water, that kind of stuff. But if they want alcohol, they're on their own, and not very many people do it, but alcohol screws up their focus also, so I don't want that.
Right. Any other questions? Anybody, hit your red button there. Now again, this is exactly what we teach, step by step in great detail. We covered a good overview, but this is exactly what we teach in great detail, step by step, with our educational sales presentation, and then we just match it to dinner. By the way, one last question. If you didn't do dinner and you did that presentation, how well would it work?
Oh, it would still be perfectly fine. Yeah. The only reason I do a dinner is to get butts in chairs. It's just an ethical bribe to get people there. That is going to be your absolute hardest thing you're going to do, is get people into a room together. So I have it is the hardest thing. I put a lot of work into getting people into that room.
Yeah.
Once they're there, it's over.
Right. And that's true. That is so true. It's such an unbelievably fantastic presentation relative to educational sales.
Yeah, just get butts in chairs. It doesn't matter if you can get people to show up in your office and do workshops there, go for it. Get hors d'oeuvres or something.
Anywhere. Even when we went anywhere to any type of group meeting, that was the same presentation, but it was without food.
Yeah. It's
food
just so hard to get people.
Food just helps to get people there. That's all.
That's it. That's all.
Any other comments? Hit your red button if you have a question. All right, well, Dr. Jeff learned how to spend $700 and made $50,000, and he spent about 2 hours to do it. And yet you have all these chiropractors out there complaining they don't have enough new patients. By the way, how many of those patients were looking for a chiropractor prior to you talking to them?
Zero.
That's the power of educational sales. That's exactly how it works. And there's a ton of business out there if you just know what to say. Yeah. All right, let me leave it like that. Hey, Dr. Jeff, I appreciate you taking time.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Talk to you later.
Take care. Bye-bye.